Hello, this is Mr. Collier, and today we're going to be solving some simple equations. So let's take a look at this first solution. By solving, I mean we're going to find out what value of x makes this equation true. So we want, our goal is to get the final line to be x equals some number. So we have to get rid of this 3 right here. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides of the equation because whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side to keep the equation equal. So we're going to have x equals 14 in this case. Let's check that. We can check it by substituting x equals 14 into the original equation. So if we put in 14 plus 3, does that equal 17? Yes, it does. So we have the correct solution. Next equation, again, you want your goal to be x equals some number. So we got to get rid of the 6 and the 7. So let's subtract 7 from both sides of the equation. We get 6x equals negative 18. Okay, this is 6 times x. So to get rid of that 6, you do the opposite of multiplying. You're going to divide by 6. Because 6 divided by 6 is going to give you 1. You're just going to have 1x, which is what we want. So we're dividing by 6. We get x equals negative 3 is our solution. Okay, we can check that. 6 times... Let's do that down here. 6 times negative 3 plus 7, does that equal negative 11? Negative 18 plus 7, yes it does equal negative 11. So that's the correct solution. A couple more examples. Here we have y, we want to isolate y. We've got to get rid of the 32 and a negative 4. So we're going to subtract 32 from both sides of the equation first. We get negative 40 equals, don't forget that negative sign, that's a negative 4y. And this is negative 4 times y, so we're going to divide by negative 4 because that's the opposite or the inverse operation. So we're dividing by negative 4, that gives you 1y. And over here we get positive 10 equals y is the solution. Next equation, we want to isolate x again. We're going to subtract 7 from both sides of the equation, and we got negative x equals 5. Got negative x equals 5. There's two ways to think about it. You can think of this as the opposite of x equals 5, so x has to equal negative 5. Or you could think of this as negative 1x equals 5, so you divide by negative 1. And you get x equals negative 5. Is your solution. Couple harder examples involving fractions. Okay, here same thing. You want to isolate x, so we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. The equation, get rid of 4. We have a third x equals 8. So a third times x equals 8. We want just x over here. We'll have to multiply by 3. Okay, to get rid of a fraction, you can multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 3, and that gives you 1x. Multiply the other side of the equation by 3, and you got x equals 24. Let's check that. If you have a third times 24 plus 4, do we get 12? A third of 24 is 8 plus 4. Yes, that does equal 12, so our answer is correct. Okay, last one. Again, we want to isolate x. So we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. We get x out of 2 equals negative 11. This is x divided by 2 equals negative 11. So to do the opposite of divide by 2, you're going to multiply by 2. That gives you 1x on that side of the equation. We're going to multiply the other side by 2. We get x equals negative 22 is your solution. And that's how you solve simple equations.